The India floor leaders are going to meet at 10:15 a.m. They want to strategize ahead. 2 days left for the session in the Parliament to conclude. There are important bills that are set for consideration and passage. And India floor leaders will be meeting at 10:15 a.m. This will be inside the Parliament. The suspended members of Parliament, meanwhile, have decided that they will be marching from the main gate of the Parliament, of the old Parliament building basically, toward Vijay Chowk, which is barely a few meters. It's not a long distance, but it will be to send out a message that they are united in this suspension that they have been charged with. It's 143 members of Parliament and counting. And the MPs have said this is deliberately being done by the government of the centre because they want to clear the bills. While the government has said, look at their behaviour inside the Parliament. And the chair of the Rajya Sabha, the Lok Sabha Speaker, also saying this was unruly behaviour. They're charging into the well with the placards, non-stop sloganeering over the security breach issue, and they just would not let the Parliament function. The numbers are only increasing, 143 and counting. So we are looking at two updates presently in the next 1 hour, which will be the India floor leaders to meet inside the Parliament at 10:15 a.m. and suspended MPs will be marching from the main gate of the old building toward Vijay Chowk area to protest the mass suspension. This clearly could be the biggest washout in terms of being suspended over behaviour, over unruly behaviour of the members of Parliament, and not just a one party or one house, but both Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha and across the parties. So we are looking at how there have been protests led by Sonia Gandhi, for example, inside the Parliament building, outside where the Gandhi statue stands. But in the new Parliament, clearly there is, we can see that new Parliament, but old issues of disruption, of showdown, of confrontation. Now, according to the India Alliance meeting, specifically the Congress party, they are saying all we are asking is a statement, is a discussion from the Home Minister, from the Prime Minister to be present in the House, tell us what happened in the security breach, what is being done about it. And according to the government, according to the chair and the Lok Sabha Speaker as well, that this is not just asking, they are deliberately disrupting the Parliament and behaving in a manner which is unbecoming of the MPs, and then followed the mimicry by TMC MP Kalyan Banerjee of the chairperson of the Rajya Sabha. So India bloc realizes this is their opportunity to charge at government at the centre with the non-stop suspension that's happening every day. 2 days are left, today and tomorrow, where the session is still on. And the India Alliance leaders believe they want to continue to protest against the suspension and demand further discussion on the Parliament security breach. The meeting expected at 10:15 a.m. will be strategizing on what next, and also a protest march from the old Parliament building gate to the Vijay Chowk area. Amid controversy over this suspension, India Bloc Alliance is also slamming government. They're asking why is the BJP MP from Mysuru, Pratap Simha, has not faced action. It was his office that had given the clearance to a visitor's pass that led at least one of the intruders to be able to step and jump exactly where the parliamentarians sit. The Lok Sabha also chamber was where this security breach had happened, and now the protests have broken out. But the Bharatiya Janata Party is branding the protest of these leaders as deliberate. They are saying they had the plan to disrupt the procedure of the House, and they are doing it in the most unruly, unbecoming fashion of the position of the members of Parliament. And what added to this was Kalyan Banerjee's mimicking the Rajya Sabha chair.
सवाल पूछेंगे सीट पे खड़े होकर के, मतलब नहीं, आगे बढ़ गए तो सस्पेंड हो गए. मतलब ये सिर्फ सांसदों के निलंबन के रूप में मत देखिए, ये प्रतिनिधित्व का निलंबन है. और किसी भी संसदीय लोकतंत्र में एक व्यापक प्रतिनिधित्व का अगर निलंबन होता है तो उस संसदीय व्यवस्था पर टिप्पणी अच्छी नहीं होती.
We were demanding that the Home Minister should come to the House and explain what has happened and what was the reason behind it. And he is not ready to do that. We protested today. We got the suspension now.
When there was a bombing in the Parliament, Modi was not there. A serious thing had occurred. Even after that, Modi didn't come to Parliament. And they are silent, they are not even talking about it. The Home Minister is not making any statement about it. That was more dangerous. They had suspended 140 MPs. If the thing thrown in the House is a poisonous gas, it would have killed 140 MPs. So dangerous was that situation that these people have done this. And nobody was there.
ये लोकतंत्र को मानते नहीं, भारतीय जनता पार्टी के संविधान को मानते नहीं। अब बताइए, जब विपक्ष ही नहीं रहेगा तो अधूरी लोकसभा रहेगी। हम तो यहाँ तक मेरा तो सुझाव है, जितने लोगों को इन्होंने विपक्ष के लोग सारे के सारे इस्तीफा देने और इनसे मांग करें चुनाव कराओ, और चुनाव जब कराएंगे तो जनता इनको सबक सिखा दे।
Remember that this confrontation and the sort of suspensions and the disruption in the parliament is not just about the members of parliament. It concerns you as a citizen too, specifically when it comes to the taxpayers' money that is getting wasted, the bills that are not coming in for debate and are not getting cleared in the manner in which it should. Let me tell you the statistics right now. The time spent in the Lok Sabha, the lower house of the parliament, was just about 47%. It hasn't even touched 50% of proper attendance when it came to the work that should have been done in legislation matters, which means the lawmaking, the bills that need to be cleared specifically with regard to what can become a law, debate, discussion on that. Only 47%, which means about 20 hours in total. This is Lok Sabha. What then happened in the Rajya Sabha, the upper house of the parliament? 13.8% in Lok Sabha, and I correct myself again here, 13.8% were the questions that were asked, and only 5 hours were given to that questioning that is raised by each member of parliament from different constituencies. So this is what has happened. It should not have been this low, specifically at the end of this year when important bills are tabled, introduced in consideration and for passage. Now, the time spent for non-legislation matters was barely about 20.9%. These are other issues that are up for discussion as well. 9 hours only spent. Most of the time, it was either disruption, sloganeering, charging at each other, both from the ruling party, the NDA, and the India Alliance at each other. In the Lok Sabha, the financial matter stood at about 13.2%, with only 5.5 hours that was spent on the Lok Sabha, where the government has a majority, but the opposition also has been all guns blazing. I want to go across to Aishwarya Paliwal on this, because Aishwarya, for every minute disrupted, wasted in the parliament, from either side, this is taxpayers' money, eventually crores of rupees that are wasted in the preparations that are spent, which are spent for our members of parliament to debate, discuss, pass crucial bills. That is not happening. And this is just a very poor record, isn't it, Aishwarya, in the parliament this time?
Well, definitely, Pooja, we were expecting that this is a new parliament. So we were all hoping that,
Yes.
we will see some of the bills being passed. We will see, all the MPs sitting there and then making sure that, all the bills are passed. And we were hoping that, they will at least talk. But now what we are seeing, and a couple of hours from now, Pooja, we will also see all the opposition MPs being out on the streets. They will be protesting. They will be marching. So we will see that the next 2 days will be a complete washout, Pooja, and crores of rupees spent down the drain.
Aishwarya Paliwal is also stating that this is, remember, a new parliament building, but it is the same old issue when it comes to talking about with regard to our politicians and our members of parliament, sadly.